Give him a round of applause for Tyler Petresky.
All right. Hey, everybody. Like he said, my name is Tyler Petresky. I'm actually just finished my sophomore year at UCF. I'm going into my junior year this year, but go Knights. So what we do, we're a nonprofit organization called Limitless Solutions, and what we do is we create 3D printed bionic arms for kids that don't have arms. And so this is our passion, this is our mission ever since the beginning, and we want to continue doing it. And our goal is to never have to charge anybody. So we want to be able to provide these things for free to as many children as possible. So this is a picture of Alex, really quick. Alex is our first child that we worked with. We started with him back around, actually this month of last year, so about 1 year ago. So his mom actually contacted us and told us that her son, Alex, was missing part of his right arm from just above the elbow all the way down. And we were heartbroken over that, and we wanted to be able to help somehow. One of the problems recently, or in the modern day, is that insurance companies typically don't want to cover prosthetics for kids because of how expensive they are. Anywhere from about $15,000 up to $100,000, depending on which one you get. But that coupled with how quickly a child's going to grow, they'll just have to buy another one about 6 months later. So we felt that this is unacceptable, and so we wanted to find a cheaper solution, find something that's affordable that we could provide to Alex ourselves. So we set out with a mission. Our mission was to keep it under $500 because we're on a college budget. We don't have a lot of money. We got to be able to eat pizza sometime. But we wanted it to be able to function. So we didn't want it to just be a rod or anything like that. We wanted it to actually do something, be a little bit more useful than that. And so that was our second goal. And then one of our other 3 primary goals, we have a couple more here, but one of our other primary ones was to have it resize. And so I don't mean it literally grows, because that'd be creepy, but it can be resized to fit Alex as he grows. And we do that with 3D printing. Who's heard of 3D printing? Almost everybody. So for those of you who haven't, I'm sure you have actually, but just in case, 3D printing is a relatively new technology. It's about maybe 30 years old approximately, but it's only recently become very accessible to the public. And so using 3D printing, we're able to create highly customized solutions. And so what we do is we design our model in the computer for the arm, and then we send it over to the printer, and the printer prints it out layer by layer until 72 hours later or so, we have a whole arm pop out of the printer, we assemble it, and we make it work. And so this allows us to print a brand new arm in about 3 days, rather than taking the time to machine something like you would with CNC equipment. And so this cuts down production time. Plastic is also extremely cheap. That's why everybody uses it. But we can either print it at 100%, 80%, 50%, 120%, whatever. So usually we print at 80%, and then as the child grows, we can do 85, 90, 95. And so it can easily be resized for about $100. So that was our goal from the beginning. But to make that happen, we needed a couple different design parts. We had to create some things. Can everybody see this? Because there's some nice cold seats up here that need some warming. I'm a front row kind of guy, so that's why I gotta throw it out there. But anyway, so first things first, you gotta have a hand, right? That's the first thing you gotta create if you want to make an arm. It's the most obvious choice. So we started there. We started with a hand. We designed something of our own. Didn't work out too well, so we found an open source one online that was already done. The work was phenomenally done, and so we used an open source design from a man named Steve Wood from Gyrobot.uk in the UK. And he did an incredible job, so we used his design for the hand. And after that, we wanted to design a forearm because we needed somewhere to house the electronics, something to fasten onto the child. So we created our forearm next. And then following that, we created an elbow socket to slide Alex's arm in. But then here comes the bigger challenge. how do you make it work, right? How do you take a piece of plastic and animate it in such a way that it's actually useful? And then how do you control it, right? So this is where we got a little bit challenged. But we pushed through, and about 8 weeks later, we came up with a solution involving something called electromyography. Can everybody say that? Great, you guys are learning. You're great. All right, so short, EMG. Everybody say EMG. Awesome, fantastic. So EMG is just a fancy word that means muscle sensing. And so what we do is we can actually sense when Alex is flexing his muscles. And so we can put on 3 electrodes. Thank you for joining me. So we put 3 electrodes on his on Alex's bicep or any other muscle group that we want to target. And whenever Alex flexes his muscle, it'll detect that electrical peak in the signal that we're measuring. And we can use that as our control signal. So it's just like pressing a button, but he's pressing a button with his biceps. So that's how we control it. It's pretty neat, pretty cool. We're still trying to work out all the bugs and make it work 100%. But we're getting there, right? Engineering, that's what it's all about. Fix it, make it better. But one thing that I really like to point out is that this entire arm was made with off-the-shelf components. So we used like a hobby aircraft servo to actually pull the fingers closed. We used like an off-the-shelf LiPo battery to power it. We used an Arduino board. Who's heard of Arduino? A couple people will. Arduino is like a $20 microcontroller you can buy online or even in the store. It's really cheap. But we use 100% off-the-shelf components for this, and we want it to be able to be replicatable throughout the world. We're still working on that, making it a little more simpler. But anyway, after we finished Alex's first arm, we delivered it to him. You can see just the huge smile on his face when he picked up the first object for the first time with his right arm. Picked up that rubber duck. We still have that rubber duck, by the way. It's a great rubber duck. But we delivered it to him, and he has loved it ever since. But one thing that we learned after delivering this arm to Alex is really interesting. We never expected this, but if you look at the arm, you see it's like a nice vanilla color. It's all like square, boxy. We wanted the arm to look as normal as possible because we figured, hey, these kids, they've probably been teased their whole life. We want them to be able to fit in as much as possible. And so with that, we created an arm that we thought would look as normal as possible. Of course, it was a little boxy, but hey, we can improve that later. But we put these finger grips on the fingers because plastic on plastic doesn't really grip well. So we put these rubber finger grips you count money with on Alex's fingers. And they only come in multicolored packs. So we bought like 4 packs of these things to get in 5 clear ones to put on his fingers. But afterwards, we didn't want all those extra colored fingertips. So we gave them to Alex and his mom and his dad to do with them as they will. And we come back to Alex a week later to check up on him. And you know what he's got? Red and green and blue and orange. He's got all the different colors on his fingers. And this was really interesting. It seems really insignificant, but he actively traded out the clear ones for these colored ones. And we thought, this is interesting. So we waited a couple more days, and then Alex asked us for an orange cover for his arm. Orange is his favorite color. And we thought, you want orange on your arm? We made it white. We made it nice and normal, fits you. But nope, he wanted orange. So this was really interesting to us. Alex was wanting to express himself through his arm. He didn't want to just have something boring on himself. He wanted something that would express his personality, what he liked and enjoyed. And so this sort of sparked a whole new train of thought for us at Limitless. And we thought we'd run with it. So yes, we did get him his orange cover, and he had it for a while. But after Alex went to school, we noticed once again some of the things that changed. So before we gave him the arm, everybody would tease him. He would get weird questions like, Alex, what happened to your arm? Or did you get bit by a shark or run over by a car or something like that? And this didn't make Alex feel very well. He honestly did not enjoy that. And so after he got the arm, everything flipped, right? The whole stigma was turned on its head, and everybody's like, whoa, that's a cool arm. Where can I get one? I want one. Who wants an arm? I want one. All right, so the whole thing changed. We thought that was incredible. We didn't realize how much of an impact this could have. But after we delivered Alex's arm, we realized, hey, there might be potential in this. What if we could take this success and apply it to hundreds or thousands of children across the world? So with that in mind, we decided to found Limitless Solutions as a nonprofit organization and pursue that goal wholeheartedly. So where are we going, right? Well, after we delivered Alex's first arm, we came up with a couple more solutions, and we wanted to improve this. So you can see two pieces here on the screen, two pieces of an arm. The bottom part is interesting. So we have the hand, and then attached to the end of the hand is a shrunken down version of the forearm that we had before. So this is our electronics housing. And we tried to make them as tight as possible, squeeze them in a small space. And that's just a removable module that we can print the same for everybody. But the top part is the really interesting part. This is the sleeve, and the sleeve slides over the electronic housing. But something interesting about this sleeve, you notice on the next slide, you can see a little bit better, is we can customize it. And so this one was actually designed around the Disney movie called Tangled. Who's seen Tangled? Yay, good movie. Love that movie. But this one was designed around the Disney movie Tangled. It's got a nice flower on it. It's purple and gold. And we gave it to a little girl named Madelyn. She absolutely loved it. It was incredible to see her. But we realized we can make so many cool designs with this. We can not only make a normal, boring, vanilla colored arm, we can make a purple and gold tangled arm too. And then we thought, what else can we do? So we got this whole train of thought now going, spurring on this creative train rather than on this straight and narrow engineering functionality train. We're going towards functionality and creativity. And so this is an interesting idea to us as a team of all engineers. So we designed Madelyn's arm, and we delivered it to her last Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving, actually. We drove up to Virginia and delivered it to her. It was just incredible to be there, and I'd totally do it again. But here's a picture of her and her mom. Just see how excited they are. That's one of my favorite things about what we do, is just seeing the smile on their face after we give it to them. So actually, here's a little side thought. Interesting. Whenever we were designing Alex's first arm, we were working pretty hard, late nights, all-nighters, pizza nights, whatever, trying to get it done. We were on a tight deadline as well. But, on the weekend, I'll relax, take a break. We've been working really hard, so let's just take a break this weekend. We get a call. Alex is really excited for his arm. Oh, looks like we're going back to work, guys. We got to get this done. So it's just this motivation that kept us going, and we wanted to get this done and deliver it. And the same thing applies to every single child. We always feel that, and it's so incredible to see their reaction after they get it. But after we designed Madelyn's arm, we wanted to refit Alex with a brand new design. So we gave Alex our version 3 of the arm after we had designed it, and we wanted to give him an interesting design for something that he really, really loved. Because again, he wanted to express himself. So who can look at this and take a guess as to what it is? Somebody? It's not rhetorical. Nobody? Okay. Well, I'm just going to reveal it then. This is Transformers. And so we thought this was incredible. He loved his Transformers arm. We had an incredible team of artists on the team that helped us to paint this and design it, and it was awesome. So we delivered this arm to them over Christmas break, and Alex loved it. So here's another picture of Alex real quick with his arm looking spiffy. I love this picture. This is our Facebook cover photo for a while. It's awesome. But where do we go from here? So you guys have already seen, I'm sure, who's seen the Iron Man video? Okay, a lot of people. So they got a lot of hits. But here's the Iron Man arm, just a quick shot of that. But what's the message, right? What am I trying to say? Well, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to say. So, ever since the beginning, I have had no idea what I'm doing. And I can't emphasize this enough. I really don't know what I'm doing. I've been told to start a company. I've been told to fill out paperwork. I've been told to file taxes. I've been told to manage finances. I don't know how to do that. I'm an engineer. I know how to build stuff, make circuits. I don't finance things. I have no idea what I'm doing. But it doesn't matter, because you know what I do know how to do? I know how to learn. I know how to look things up. I know how to find people that know how to do things. I know how to delegate. Trust me, I know how to delegate. I've learned that one. But in the beginning, I have no clue what I'm doing. And it doesn't matter. Because if you have an idea and if you're dedicated to it and you want to do it, guess what? You're going to do it. It doesn't matter what you know or what you don't know. Because you're going to figure it out. And that's one thing that I've learned. I've figured out that I'm going to figure it out. And I'm learning every single day. And we have a team of people who are actively committed to this, and they are just incredible. This would never have happened without our team. So I can't give a round of applause for the team. Yeah. Awesome. So again, I have no clue what I'm doing. So what's the message, right? What's your idea? What's your dream? What do you want to accomplish? Do you have goals? Do you know how to accomplish your goals? Because if you don't know how to accomplish your goals, great. Well, now you're not pre-distracted by something you think is the right thing. You can just find the right thing, right? Who's going to walk with you? Who's going to help you through this? Does anybody else believe in your idea? But here's the real question. Do you believe in yourself? Because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in your own idea, who's going to believe in you? Nobody's going to help you, right? You've got to believe in your own stuff. And you can do it, no matter what your idea is. I don't care if you want to start the best burger joint in Orlando. If you want to start Catalyst 2.0, you can do it. Dennis might not be happy, but you can do it, right? Just all it takes is a little bit of faith. You got to believe in yourself first, and then take the steps to make it happen afterwards. So, one thing I want to say to everybody is that you are the change. Every day I go through Orlando, I go through Oviedo, and I hear people complaining about things. Oh, there's too many potholes in the road. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. I don't like that Walmart. There's so many problems. And I'm not going to say they're not problems. There are problems. Of course there are. I hate potholes just as much as the next guy. Messes up my axle alignment. But I'm not going to sit around and complain about it and then not do anything. Let's do something. Let's change it. Let's change the world. Let's start something, as my friend Pam would say. Who knows Pam Hozel? Okay, we got one person. Thank you. But anyway, so one thing I want to say to everybody is that you are the change. You're the one that has the ability to change things. It's not me. It's not Chris. It's not just one person. It's all of us. We all have that ability. And there's nothing special about anybody who has anything to do. I'm involved with a really awesome company, right? We make prosthetic arms for kids. It's incredible. But there's nothing special about me. You know where I'm from? I'm from Milton, Florida. Who's heard of Milton, Florida? Whoa! That's about 100% more than every other talk I give. So I'm from Milton, Florida. It's a country town, North Florida. Almost nobody's heard of it. Apparently some people have. But do you know what comes out of do you know what comes out of Milton? Ordinary people. Tyler Petresky comes out of there, but ordinary people come out of Milton, Florida. There's no Bill Gates, no Steve Jobs up there. It's just me. More ordinary people. But you know who else is in Orlando? Ordinary people. And ordinary people hold the key to the world. We all have the ability to change things. And as I wrote here, I just want to reiterate, world-changing ideas come from ordinary people who are seeking to love those around them. So it doesn't come from, I want to make $100 trillion. I mean, it'd be nice to have $100 trillion. But that's not my goal, right? That's why I give away arms. I don't care if I make money off of them. That's not the end goal. Money is a means. So let's not use it as a goal. Let's use it as a means to accomplish something great. Let's do something incredible in the world. Let's change things. One thing that we're hoping to change is the prices in the prosthetics industry. We want to drop them. We have a goal in mind. We want to do this. But started with one idea, started with one person, which then grew to 10 people, 15, 20, 30. Now we have over 70 people working towards this mission, and it's growing every single week. And we want to change the world. So, I have knowledge, I have skills, I've been blessed with some talents, and I'm 19, I have a lot of energy, right? Let's be honest. So, what do you think would happen if every single person in this room used their skills, used their knowledge, used their talents, and used all of their energy to change something for the better? How much change would come out of that if instead of watching Saturday Night Live on Saturday nights, I went out and filled in potholes? I don't know. I'm not going to fill in potholes because I don't have any asphalt. But what would happen if I used that Saturday night to do something great and to change something, to help somebody else? Because it doesn't have to affect 100 million people around the world. Even just one person can change the world. And even just affecting one person is a huge change. Because so many people in this world are focused around money. They're focused around greed. They're focused around this and that, and they don't care about the people around them. But it's the people around us that matter, right? It's the people around us that can change things, that hold the keys to the future, that can make everything better, that can fix the potholes in the road. because I hate potholes. Oh, man, I got stories. But so this is really the message that I want to give to you guys, is that no matter what you want to do, no matter what the idea is, stupid or small, big or little, whatever it is, you can do it. And don't let anybody tell you it's a dumb idea. Because if you think it's going to change something, you can make it change something. So if you don't know how to do it, who cares? Figure it out. So this is the big message I want to give to you guys. So Limitless Solutions, we're trying to change the world. But we've only worked with 7 kids. People think we've worked with 1,000 kids so far. We've only worked with 7 so far at this time. But we've had a big impact, right? With 7 kids. We haven't changed 100,000 people. We haven't delivered arms to Syria or Nepal or something like that. We'd love to, but maybe in the future. But we haven't done that yet. We only worked with 7. But we've had an impact, and you can have that same impact. So if you guys want to follow us, I know you all have Twitters, so I'll expect to see at least 150 follows today. And Facebook, Instagram, you can follow us on all of that. But, guys, really, get out there and change the world. Thank you very much. Correct. So far, we've only been in operation for about a year now, so we actually haven't had the opportunity to have a child outgrow any arms, simply because the only person that's had something long enough to outgrow it, we've already replaced it simply because we wanted to. But hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to replace things and we'll be able to get that data, but we're guessing maybe about 6 to 8 months that we'll have to replace arms. Yeah, that's just a guess, though. Right? And which one? Oh, thank you. Anybody else have any more questions? Yes. Great question. So our first design is on Thingiverse. Who's heard of Thingiverse? A couple people. So our first design is open source. It's online. You can find it on thingiverse.com. We haven't released any more designs yet simply because we're not comfortable releasing them yet. So our version 2, we're hoping to be able to release it in the next few months. And then we're working on version 3 after that. But they will be in the future. Anybody else? Yes. So we are already below 500. Mm-hmm. So I think the most expensive part right now is the actual material that prints the arm. And that price isn't going to drop, probably, but it varies with every arm. So it depends on the complexity of the arm and how much material is being used. Like the Iron Man arm used a lot of material. So did the Transformers arm. But the Tangled arm didn't use that much material. So that really can't be dropped because it's a set right from the manufacturer. But just depends on the complexity of the arm. Yes, sir. Great question. So our arms, Alex was actually taking and putting on his arm by himself within about 2 weeks of getting his first arm. So they can take them off, put them on themselves. Sometimes it depends on the design, but again, yeah, that's one of the goals. We want people to be able to do that. No, you can't get it wet. It's not waterproof. It's harder than you think to waterproof things, man. But no, they can't get it wet. Yes, sir. It could hold the microphone, most likely. So the range of motion depends on how tight we do the servo, but it can close about like this much. So it can get pretty tight, but it'll stop on something that it grabs, of course. And the functionality is very basic right now. One, because it's for kids. We don't want it to be super complicated for them. We want it to be able to plug and play type thing. But also, we haven't gotten to the point where we can add an elbow yet or anything like that. But we are working on an elbow. It's almost done. Hopefully within the year we'll have it. Can't promise it though. Yes. Great question. Yeah. So we've actually just started a leg team who is working with a little girl who needs a foot. And they're not to the point where they're comfortable having it ready yet because there's a lot more to go wrong with a leg than there is with an arm. got to support a person. But hopefully within the year, maybe a year and a half, we will have a functional leg prototype going full strong. Yes, sir. I have no idea what I'm doing. I didn't know anything about prosthetics going into this. No, we didn't know anything. We just knew this kid needs something. We're engineers that know how to build it, so why not, right? We have some free time. We have a little bit extra money. Let's do it. Let's get it done. So no, we didn't know anything about it. And like I said, we're learning every day that we go. We're figuring it out. Anybody else?
Any more questions?
Yes, sir. So at that time, we were actually working with Microsoft OneNote. We were part of something called the Collective Project, which is essentially where Microsoft OneNote goes around the country and finds groups of students who are doing something world-changing. And so they selected us as one of their participants, and they started sort of like a little miniature advertising program for us, and they did some marketing for us. And it was sort of a mutually beneficial sort of partnership for a time. And so part of that was they went out to get Robert Downey Jr. and said, hey, these kids are making some cool stuff, and they want to deliver this arm to the boy who loves Iron Man. Do you want to be involved? And he jumped on the opportunity. Anybody else? Come on, ask me something. I'm ready. Yes, sir. Great question. So the thumb is not posable. The thumb works just like every other finger. It just closes. Posable thumbs are very difficult. You need a lot of different servo motors for that. Maybe in the future, I don't know, but we'll have to see. But for right now, it just works just like everything else. Yes? Uh-huh. Maybe. That'd be pretty cool, though, right? One thing I will say is that in the Iron Man arm, if it passes by, you'll notice there's a hole in the palm, and that's for the... there's actually a light that goes in it. But no, there's no sounds right now. But maybe in the future, that'd be pretty interesting. Yes, sir. That's a great question. So that's actually one of the big problems we've been facing, is how do we produce this on a larger scale where we can affect a lot of children effectively? And so the answer is sort of. So the hand and the electronics housing, you can produce those pretty much exactly the same for every child. But the sleeve has to be custom sized for every child because every child is different in some way, whether it's the way the amputation was done, whether it's the way the birth defect came out, whether it's the shape of it, whether it's the size. Something's always going to be different. And so we have to sort of custom create that sleeve to fit onto it. Yes? Yeah, so yes, they are active. We aren't absolutely sure how well it's going to hold up, but hey, engineering, right? We're testing it. We're figuring it out. So far, we haven't had one just like shatter. The only thing that broke is we had Alex break his thumb once, and you know, if you break your thumb, you go to the doctor, it takes 6 weeks. Come to us, takes 6 minutes. So Alex broke his thumb once, and then he also broke his elbow once. And so we just printed out a new thumb, printed out a new elbow. But it wasn't from anything stressful. But we were like expecting Alex, you know, play baseball, drop the bat, use the arm, something like that. So far we haven't had any problems with that. But yeah, they are active, and we're looking out for it. Anybody else? Yes. Mm-hmm. So far we haven't. Well, that was weird. So far we have not run into any regulation issues. We have looked up the regulations to see what sort of stuff we need to look out for, and we are looking out for it. But so far we haven't run into that barrier yet. Anything else? I'm open. Yes. So far we've been using UCF's printers fairly often, and the printers in the manufacturing lab at UCF are open to all students. And we're all students, right? So we use it for the company as well. Very good friends with the guy who runs the printer. But recently we actually got a printer donated to us from Stratasys, and Stratasys is the world's leader in 3D printing, and so we're very grateful to them for donating that to us. Yes, sir. Mhm. Yeah, that's a great question. So we're hoping we're probably going to stay in Orlando, honestly. So yeah, city beautiful. So we're probably going to stay here. We also all have our own dreams. We have our own aspirations. We have our own goals. So I want to work at Google. That would be awesome for me. That's been my lifelong dream. So I still want to work at Google, but I don't know when I'm going to work. I don't know how long I'll be there. Whatever. So as long as I possibly can, I'm going to stay in this organization because it's just an incredibly fulfilling experience. And I love the kids, I love the people I work with, and it's just awesome. But we all do have our own goals, we have our own aspirations, and we want to do those. So if that means I'll have to, I don't know, give up my role for maybe a year or two, and I can sort of jump back in at the bottom and work my way up. I don't know how that'll work. But so I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm not sure how long we'll be here. How long me personally will be here. But the organization is here to stay. If I leave, I'm going to find somebody to replace me. So the organization is not going anywhere, but the people might shift. Yes? I was wondering, so it seems like Mhm. Yeah. So we have spoken with Disney in the past about sort of these types of things. We haven't really formed any official relationship with them or anything like that, but we have spoken with them. We've expressed interest. They've expressed interest as well. And excuse me, maybe in the future we'll see that happen. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Going 3 times? Cool. Thank you so much, guys.